I do want to say we talked about interest, right? With the we do have halal financing at our company.
You have halal financing.
Yes,
Explain to me
yes.
that.
So,
break it down for me.
Let me pull it up right here. So, the lender purchases a product and sells it to the buyer with a profit. The buyer repays the lender in installments with no interest, and it's a popular choice for individuals.
Do you guys do that?
Yes, we do.
Private money.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Private money.
Yes. Yes.
So we have 4 forms of lending. We have standard, your QM loans, your non-QM loans, right? We do, obviously, jumbo's its own sector, and then business and commercial. But in the non-QM space, it falls under the, private money sector.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm just, the reason why I asked that question, dude, I don't mean to, like, put you down in any way. It's just, like, I think about, like, the way I make my money a lot, like, all the time. Because to me, like, the last thing I want to do is, like, when I pass away and I get judged, God's like, hey, where'd you get all this cash from? Like, and where did it come from? And I have to sit there and answer for it, like, dollars that I don't even, especially, by the way, especially if you're making a smack load of it, right? Because then you're just like you're like, oh, I don't really know, man. So I've always been, I love the space that you're in, because it's like, especially for a guy like you or even like me, it's very stimulant. Like, it stimulates the hell out of it. I'm in cybersecurity now. Slow ass business, dude. I get so bored. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, God damn. My sales cycle is like 1.5 years sometimes to close a deal. So like, it's tough. Yeah. So I that's why I kind of just threw it out. But that's pretty interesting, because that type of lending is halal.
Yeah, it's halal lending. And then also, like, you can't really escape it in this country. You know, you got to get a car loan, got to get a house loan. Unless you're like fully loaded, you just buy everything cash, credit cards, stuff like that. You're going to deal with interest.
Let me ask you a question. If you have a credit card, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. You're probably paying, what, 23% APR on it? Now,
Well, I don't have credit card debt.
well, if you let it ride over a 30-day overcycle, you will have a debt.
I never have, and I never will.
Knock on wood, but you never know. You may have a rainy day, right?
Yeah.
And then when you want to buy, what about when you want to buy a house?
You never know. But what if you did? Not everyone's perfect. What if you did? Everybody in the world will be in a seat. One day you're up, one day you're down. You know that.
Sure. Okay.
So what if I came to you and made, we lowered your interest from 23% to, 7%? Is that haram?
I'm not a scholar, man.
I'm just if I reduced your interest, is that forbidden? I'm the guy that came and helped you reduce that haram interest, let's just say. Am I a bad guy?
So once again,
is that your entire business model?
Pretty much. I mean,
this is why it's really important.
In the mortgage game, you're only 4 things you can do. You can lower payments, change the term of the loan. So
you're not initiating loans. You're not like, hey, I come to you, you give me a loan.
Well, think about it. When the people initiate a loan, what's the primary objective? Besides lowering payments, changing terms, pulling cash, or purchasing, the primary objective is to seek the lower rate. So, for example, someone's trying to buy a house and some jack is charging them 10%, and I cut that in half. I think I did a good deed.
And it's hard to escape in this country too. Here in this country, everything's really built on debt. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't so it's hard to.
You're not gonna buy a house?
No,
you're not buying a house.
No.
So this is why
I'm so against that.
This is why, by the way, it's really.
I'm gonna go hustle my ass off, make the money, and spend in cash if I need to.
Inshallah.
Yeah. I don't. And by the way, not to cut you out, but by the way, I actually, because of my philosophy, like 100%, God's gonna give me like unlimited money to go do what I got to do with it.
Inshallah.
And obviously God wills, but I'm very, very strict on that.
What about if you want to leverage your debt? Like, because let's say you want to buy an investment, or because people leverage debt.
I agree. Money. So actually, I was just talking to my dad about this, like literally earlier today, because we're over here, like we're producing X amount of dollars in the business, and the tax bill's coming out, and I'm like, man, it's like I wish I could go buy real estate and like.
But tax is a form of interest, and you're going to be forced to pay it in this country.
That's true, but that's not my decision to make though. Like I have to do it. I don't have to get into debt.
It's all relative.
So this is why, remember Adam, a little bit earlier, you were saying that like this is kind of like different from the specifics of this conversation, but you were saying earlier about how before you go and try to preach something, you have to have enough knowledge of it. You know what I mean? Because you have to be an advisor to people. The fact that we don't have like a scholar with us here to kind of like answer these questions.
And I know there's different kinds of
there's always going to be differences of opinions.
Yeah, there's different opinions.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. This is how I grew up. I didn't grow up Shia. I didn't grow up Sunni. I didn't grow up with none of that.
Right.
I grew up as a Muslim. You understand? Mm-hmm. I believe in God. And to be honest, Shia, Sunni.
If you say that, bro, riba is in the Quran, dude. It's like a very like it's like zina. It's like you don't commit zina, dude.
You're understanding? Like, is Shia Sunni anywhere mentioned in the Quran?
No.
Okay, that's strike one.
However,
Another
when you say the shahada, you do mention that ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and you follow his sunnah.
Of course.
So that is something
But
that.
what I'm saying is, Shia Sunnah, they and all whatever sects they call it, all that was, I believe, was created to create diversity within Islam. It's divide and conquer 101, dude.
I agree on that.
My thing is, it's like, I know each one has their own scholar and each one has their own rules. For me, it's all about everyone's unique relationship between you and God, and that's it. And then do you follow the book? I don't care about what people say. I don't care about what this man-made shit. I don't care about man-made shit. I care about what God's word is and the story.
Like, what's the book? The Quran?
I'm not a scholar.
Adam, what do you say when what do you say when you come into the office in the morning? What do you say? What do you yell when you Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad? Every morning
starts off the day with that.
Every morning.
I love it.
I'm so down.
Yeah, that's dope.
No, he comes into the office and he just yells it every morning.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. It's so.
Sir.
Who is, because mashallah, alhamdulillah, you believe and we'll take that over anything, like you said earlier, right? Who is qualified to transmit the knowledge of Islam? The scholars.
I believe the Rasuls. The Rasul did that once.
So yes, to bring it to the peoples, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But from their time until here, who's the qualified ones to
I don't think we'll ever know that.
relay the message?
I don't think we'll ever know.
No, it's very
Because-
simple. The Rasul told us.
Oh.
You learn from the people who learned from the people. You know what I mean?
There's
Who
a silsila, bro. There's a chain
system.
like you said, a chain of command.
Like
in
you
the
said, a
family.
chain of
There's a chain of command in religion. You
This
know
is why
what I
I'm
mean?
taking notes. No, but there's
I better get a notepad too. Get a notepad.
I got a mental notepad, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me make sure. I mean,
so similar to how
But I'm all
like
ears.
there's a chain of command in terms of the knowledge, right? From the Rasul, alayhi salatu wasalam, to his companions, to their offspring, to their offspring, to the offspring, to eventually people who we call scholars, all the way down to what we now are surrounded by, which is our Islamic scholars, local and afar, right? Personally, I just believe when it comes down to something, especially in regards to your livelihood, you know what I mean? The money that is used, that you're earning to feed your families, to feed your communities, it's really, really important to make sure that that money in Allah's eyes is accepted. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's not. By no means.
Yeah, Adam, I want you to know, bro. This is all love. Like we're just.
I mean,
I told you.
I'm all ears.
I told you, man. Our
That's why I have a loan estimate. No, but that's why it's like, if anything, it's always an idea where it's like,
and like,
go talk to.
I've heard some scholars say it's cool. Some scholars say it's not. Nobody really has a definitive answer because you got to realize we're in a different generation. Like the Quran
But
said.
earlier
also,
you told me you've never really had a conversation with a scholar regarding.
I've heard, not a direct conversation,
Gotcha,
but I've heard through
gotcha.
people and through scholars. Like this, for example, I have a lot of Shia friends, you know, in the East. Like they have marjas and that they talk to. I don't have that direct connection with it. You know, I hear the talk. We all around the bonfire. Everybody says, "Oh, my Sayyid said this," and I hear a different story from everybody.
Right.
So you know.
So I will.
For me,
I will.
My focus is on, you know, this is like one piece of you know what the Quran is you know or whatever people speak of, right? Mm-hmm. I know that there's a lot of other pieces that bring more value to a man's life that should be entertained before this. I feel like it comes in stages, right? Do you lie? Do you cheat? Do you steal? Right? Do you drink? Do you claim that you're a Muslim and you go out to the club on a Friday and you're popping bottles with your guys? Like, to me, I look at who you are as a person. I look at these attributes. I've seen a lot of shit.
You can't avoid it. Like I said, like even renting this apartment, you're paying interest.
You are paying a form of interest.
I'll explain.
Because you're paying them and they're paying interest.
Yeah. So hear me out.
can't really avoid it.
This
You
is
are
where
Paying a form of interest.
I hear you.
It's
I hear
actually,
you.
I don't know what surah, but it's in the Quran. It talks about how we kind of have
should
to.
have brought a sheikh.
Yeah, we kind of have to like adapt
No,
to what's happening around us, and you cannot really avoid it in this country. It's just everywhere.
God knows your niyyah. If you're doing your best to be the best version of yourself, God knows, obviously, and everyone's relationship is unique. Now, if you're out there and you're the lender and you're trying to jack rates up to rob the world, that's a different story. That's malicious intent, right? If
You've had clients cry on the phone. I've been there where you help them so like
Yeah.
in an immense
I've-
way. They
I have
actually
people-
cry,
I-
break
I-
down in tears.
When you alleviate people of the interest load, you know, like they fall. A lot of them are
Look,
in tears.
and to everyone their own opinion, and I respect what you do, and this is just love. I told you, man, this
And once
podcast
again,
can
this
get
is not
really.
coming from a place where we're saying you're wrong.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming from
Oh,
a
right.
place of like, yo, dude, cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know
what I mean?
Of course,
To-
I'm,
to-
I'm
to-
all ears. I'm all ears.
And also, I wanted to mention, I personally am very close to two scholars. One we actually had on the podcast before we had this kind of a discussion with.
Nice.
And the other one, he had his entire Islamic studies focused on Islamic finance.
Wow.
So these are this internationally studied. These guys are world renowned. You know what I mean?
Who are they? What are their names?
What are their names? One of them is actually where you guys stay?
Sheikh Tariq Ata is one. He's a Mission Viejo Mosque.
No, not Sheikh Tariq.
But he's Islamic finance too.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
No, one of them is Sheikh Mustafa Umar right here from Irvine Islamic Center, and then one of them he's actually in Texas. His name's Sheikh Joe Bradford.
Shout out, Mr. Joe, bro.
Shout out Joe, bro. No,
I will-
the guy
got a question.
is a wizard, yani.
Let's talk about all the girls and all the money they make with OnlyFans. Wait, what?
That's
All right,
such a change
I'm
of subject.
I'm gonna connect you to the Sheikh. All right, so OnlyFans.
Well, that's obviously
on.
all haram too.
Bro,
That's haram too. 100%. Are you Muslim, bro?
He might as well be.
Not yet, bro.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
we gotta. All right, repeat after me, bro. Ashhadu.
He walks in. Ashhadu anna.
No, I want to dig on your point. So a couple things, right? So leasing cars, there's interest. The getting an apartment, there's interest, 100%. However, it becomes so. This is where the scholars come into play, and they go, "Hey, this is where it's okay. It's okay because it's in the contract, and it's not something that they're not making money on money."
That's what I was gonna say.
Here's one thing I wanna
Everything's
say
in the
too. A
contract.
scholar is not-
everything that we do is in contract.
These scholars are
That's
not.
what I was gonna say.
How do I say this? These scholars don't understand finance to the level I do. They don't understand finance to the level he does when it comes to the lending game. They sure as hell don't understand finance to the level of Matt Ishbia would, the guy that owns UWM.
And the Phoenix Suns.
The reason why I say it's relative to a certain extent to make it this just that big of a topic. My thing is there's a lot of other topics we need to tackle in this life, in this world,
And on this
before
podcast.
we get to this one.